Okay, so today we are going to look at the 5 types of chemical reactions and give you general equations for them. And then hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to classify the different types of reactions with your homework assignments. So the first reaction is called a synthesis reaction. And one way to identify a chemical reaction as synthesis is when you only end up with one product. So the general equation is A plus B produces AB. So I start with my parts and I make one product. So we see this with calcium oxide and water. AB, that's one compound, and then H2O, that's another compound, and you put it all together, and you get calcium hydroxide, one big product over here. So you can do it with 2 compounds and form a ternary compound. Second type is called the decomposition reaction, where a single compound will break down into its parts. So you start with one reactant, and it's going to break down into its parts. So AB produces A plus B. Much like water, through the process of electrolysis, you get hydrogen gas and oxygen. Third type is called displacement reaction, where a single element will displace another element from the compound. So 2 different ways to write the general equation. A plus BC produces AC plus B. So you notice how A swap places with B, and now B is by itself and A is paired up with C. Or you can go A plus BC produces AB plus C. So in this case, C and A swap places, and now A is with B and C is by itself. So we see that with aluminum and copper chloride. When you take aluminum and you mix it with copper chloride, aluminum will swap places with copper and bond with chloride to get aluminum chloride, and then copper is by itself. Fourth type of reaction is called the double displacement reaction, where you get an exchange between 2 compounds, and as a result, a precipitate or a solid will form. So you'll do this in our lab soon. You'll make a precipitate, but general equation AB plus CD produces, now notice that A swaps places with C, so you get AD plus CB. So with hydrochloric acid, with sodium hydroxide, the H swap places with sodium. So now the sodium is with the chloride, we get table salt, and then we end up with water, H2O. Now I wrote HOH just so you can see how hydrogen swap places with sodium, but it's H2O plus NaCl. The 5th type is called the combustion reaction, and you start off with an organic compound and you mix it with oxygen, and your products are always going to be CO2 and water, obviously with some heat energy, but we're just going to focus in on carbon dioxide and water. So here I have C3H8, okay, that's my organic compound combined with oxygen, and you produce carbon dioxide and water. Now, I usually show a video called Classifying Chemical Reactions with the Flintstones, but I'm pretty sure YouTube is going to splice it out of my video. So I'm going to put the link in it and just watch it. It's great. It's just a great example of going through 4 of the 5 chemical reactions. They don't talk about the combustion. Now I do want, so as a result, we just went through the 5 different types of reaction. So you can use this, but we'll just start with synthesis. We started with synthesis. We start with simple compounds and we make more complex ones, decomp. You start with your more complex and you break down into its parts or less complex ones. With the single displacement, one atom will take the place of another. With the double, 2 atoms trade places. And then combustion, you produce oxygen and water. You produce carbon dioxide and water as your products. Now, I do want to talk about your assignment. So I'll zoom out of here. Oh, where are we? Here we go. Okay, so this is your assignment. Okay, so there's no video, but you just write down the definition of the different types of reactions, and then you have to write the equation. So for synthesis, the equation would be A plus B produces AB. But then you also have to color code it. Okay, so down here I have the color code chart where A is going to be red, B is going to be blue, C is green, D is yellow. So you would color in this one as red and this one as blue, and then this first one would be red, blue. So A plus B produces AB. You do the same thing for decomposition, write down the definition of it, but the generalized equation is AB produces A plus B. So it'd be red, blue breaks down into red plus blue, and so on and so forth. So you just have to identify, but then it also says that you have to illustrate it with some colors. So I'm going to show you a snippet of my key just so you can see what I mean by that. My key is somewhere. No, that's not it. Good gravy. I have too many. Here it is. Okay, so this is the first three. So here we have P plus O2 equals P4O5. So you, this is A plus B equals AB. So you color code it. You can just highlight it in Google Classroom. You don't need to draw circles, but it's a synthesis reaction, so you put an S. For the second one, we have mercury oxide, and it breaks down into mercury and oxygen. So A, B together breaks down into A plus B, so that's a decomp. For that single replacement reaction, here's A, okay, there's B, or you can do B here, and then there's C, but whatever. So we have A plus BC, if we want to say that. But anyways, you're just showing the color code. Okay, so if you have green as sodium, then green better be, sodium on the product side. But you're just showing how, in this case, red swaps places with blue. So red was by itself on this side, and then on the product side, blue is now by itself. So that's a single replacement. So that's the assignment. Notes. Let me know if you have any questions.